Today we're going to be discussing the economic freedom in three countries. The first, the United States, China, and the United Kingdom. This assignment is being done by Chong Yang and Hassan Thomas. So on the first slide, it talks about gross domestic product, GDP. And GDP can be defined as the total monetary or market value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's border in a certain amount of time. And the equation can be written out as GDP is equal to C as in consumption, G as in government, I as in investment, and NX as in net exports. Here at the bottom of slide 2, you can see going from left to right, the United States, China, and United Kingdom all listed. The United States has a GDP of 2.4%. China carries a GDP of 6.1%, and the United Kingdom has 1.2%. On the graph all the way to the left, under the United States, the red line would be characterized by real GDP growth annually, but represented percent change. And the blue line would be inflation rates, average consumer price, and the annual percentage of those as well. The same thing goes for the graph of China and so on to the United Kingdom. If you switch to the next slide, you'll see the inflation rate is labeled at the top, and inflation is a quantitative measure of rate at which the average price level of a basket of selected goods and services in the economy increase over a period of time. So the rise of inflation is equal to the final CPI index value divided by the initial CPI value. Again, from left to right, U.S., China, and United Kingdom. The United States has a 1.8% inflation rate, while China holds a 3.8% inflation rate, and the United Kingdom has an inflation rate of 1.5%. If you flip to the next slide, you'll see foreign direct investment, which is FDI. This is investment made by a firm or individual in a country into a business that's in another country. So pretty much this is foreign business. The United States currently does 51,111 million US dollars, while China does 110,780 million US dollars, and the UK currently does 32,525 and 67. So the next thing we'll be speaking about is the employment rate in three countries, and this is the rise of the fall and change. That's what usually causes it to happen in the economic conditions. When the economy is in poor shape and jobs are scarce, the employment rate can be expected to rise, but when the economy is growing at a healthy rate and jobs are relatively plentiful, it can fall at sometimes. So going from top to bottom, the United States, China, and then United Kingdom again. The United States has an unemployment rate of 3.7%. China has an unemployment rate of 3.61%, and the UK has an inflation rate of 3.8%. So all relatively good, compared to other countries. Next, we'll be talking about corruption. This is a form of dishonesty or criminal activity that happens in any sort of organization or government makeup, and people abuse power and authority, and they usually do it to acquire some sort of benefits for themselves or a group of people of interest. And all of this entrusted power is usually for their private gain. Corruption can include activities as bribery and embezzlement as well. So the United States has 75%, China has 41%, and the United Kingdom has 82% currently. So we'll move to the next slide, and we'll talk about economic freedom. One approach to the economic freedom just comes from the tradition that emphasizing free market, free trade, and private property under free enterprise. free market viewpoints define economic liberties as the freedoms to produce, trade, and consume any good and service acquired without the use of force, theft, or fraud. This is embodied in the rule of laws and property rights, freedom of contract, characterized by external and internal openness of the market, the protection of the property rights, and freedom of the economic initiative. Going from top to bottom, the United States is labeled at 76.8%, which can be categorized as a medium level, and the status would be free. China has 58.4%, which would be the lowest level in unfree. And then the UK has 78.9%, which is the highest in free. To summarize everything, the United States and the United Kingdom, they have economic freedom, while China does not. The United States and United Kingdom are very good at the levels of political integrity, 75%, 82%. It's very good, while China has more corruption with 41%. So China has only 58.4 on the level of economic freedom. The U.S. and United Kingdom have 76.8 and 78.9. So economically, living in the United States would be very beneficial.